Hello and thank you for joining me today. My name is Wesley Boudreaux, one of the financial advisors here at the Retirement Group. Today we're going to go over Social Security. But before I get started, I just want to remind everybody that if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and put those in the Q&A box in the webinar. Your information is anonymous, so we'll be sure to address it at the end of the webinar. And we will be putting some information in the chat box there as well, different items as far as how to set up appointments, how to follow us on LinkedIn. You may also get a survey asking you how the webinar was. Please do us a favor and give us any critiques so we can know if there's any updates or changes we need to make in the future as well. And again, the Retirement Group does a lot of work with a lot of different companies, but we are not employed by or affiliated with your specific company. So for those of you who do not know or remember who the Retirement Group is, again, we are an independent financial advisory firm that focuses on working with corporate employees and helping them transition into retirement. We've been doing this for just about 30 years. We work with about 20 some odd companies. And so what that allows us to do is have a deeper focus on your specific company so we know your benefits plans inside and out and can help hold your hand in that transition process to make sure you avoid a lot of common mistakes we see from time to time. And a lot of times these mistakes could add up to tens of thousands of dollars in savings. We have offices throughout the country, so rest assured, even during these times, if you need to sit down with somebody face-to-face, we can probably take care of that. But again, we do offer web meetings. We can talk on the phone, do email, fax, all that information as well. And then at the end of the day, if you take us up on anything, please do us a favor and just give us a call and we can run that cash flow analysis for you. Every company we work with is a little bit different, so there's unique circumstances to your situation. But we can run through a detailed cash flow analysis to determine when the best day is to retire for you and help you determine whether or not you're on track for that and if you need to make any adjustments. And we can look at various retirement dates and various savings rates and things like that as well. So again, when you have time, just call us and we can run that. Or if it's been over a year, we can update it for you as well. So let's get into Social Security. Let's talk about some of the different things we'll cover. And really, there's a lot of questions around Social Security as far as when the best time to claim it is. So we'll cover some different questions you might want to ask yourself. We'll go over the actual benefits. And then at the end, we'll discuss how to contact Social Security Administration and go ahead and get that process started. And then also look at running an actual review for you through an analysis. Now, as far as when am I going to get Social Security, there's really kind of 3 dates to look at. But what happens is you can take it as early as age 62. There are other options under disability and things like that. But for normal retirement age, you can do it as early as 62. Then your full retirement age, which is going to be anywhere between 66 and 67, depending upon your date of birth, which we'll look at a little bit later. Or you can defer it all the way up until age 70. And so each year you defer this, you're going to get an actual raise. So obviously if you take it 62, it's the lowest you'll be getting. And if you take it 70, it's the highest that you'll be getting. And along the way, there's going to be growth through that. So let's look at one of the reasons why it's important to figure out when the best time to take Social Security is going to be. Now, as far as when you claim your benefits, again, it can significantly affect your overall income throughout the rest of your life, and then even your spouse's life, depending upon if you're married or not. And then as far as the there's not a one-size-fits-all answer, so we need to look at running potentially a Social Security analysis to show you all the different claiming strategies. Whether you're single or married, there's a lot of different potential strategies when we factor in longevity and what your actual goal is, whether you're bird in the hand versus two in the bush kind of person. And a lot of people have different faiths in the Social Security system as well. So there's a lot of things to review in doing so. Now, as far as when you should start receiving Social Security, there's a lot of questions to go over to determine the best day to retire and to receive Social Security. But some of those questions are, what is your actual full retirement age? What's your date of birth? We'll determine that. What's your actual benefit you're going to receive? Could you receive it earlier? Do you need to defer? Can you afford to defer? So we'll go through those different items. What are the amounts of the benefits, again, as far as once you decide to turn on Social Security? How long do you expect retirement to last? So we talk about longevity as to when's the best claiming strategy for that as well. Are you going to continue working? If you're working, there's some different tax situations and also some reductions in Social Security if you decide to turn it on before full retirement age. And we'll factor in those different income taxes and how Social Security is taxed versus the rest of your assets and the rest of your distributions. And then again, if you're married, how's your spouse going to be affected? Not just now while you're still alive, but if something happens to you sooner than he or she, how will they be affected as well? Now, As far as when are you going to actually get Social Security or when's your full retirement age, again, we mentioned you can take it as early as age 62, but if you want to wait till your full retirement age, it's going to be anywhere from age 66 to age 67. So anybody that's right now 66, they're already past that point. But that's for individuals that were born before 1954. And then it ratcheted up 2 months for each year after that. So 1955 was 66 and 2 months. All the way up to 1959 is going to be 66 and 10 months. And anybody born in 1960 or later for retirement age is going to be 67. At least that's where it is right now. There are discussions, and there may be situations for younger individuals like myself where they would actually stretch that full retirement age out later, in closer to 70 or so, to help alleviate some of the pressure on Social Security. So again, for somebody that's full retirement age, it's going to be between 66 and 67 for the most part. Now, there's a lot of different questions or benefits to go over as far as what the monthly benefit comparison is going to be. Will my retirement last? What's my working situation? What's the benefit of delaying benefits? So there's a lot of different choices to kind of go through. And let's look first about delaying those benefits and look at the difference between taking it at age 62 or deferring it all the way out till age 70. So if we look at this chart here, somebody that takes it as early as 62 in this example is going to get about $1,350 per month for the rest of their lives. Or if they were to wait till their full retirement age at 66, it'd be $1,800 a month. So about $450 more per month. Or if they deferred even longer, from full retirement age to age 70, you get an 8% bump each year. It's going to go all the way up to $2,376 per month for the rest of their lives. So this person in this example would get 76% more income if they were to defer those next 8 years and wait till age 70 versus taking it at age 62. However, they're giving up those 8 years of potential income, which would have added to about $130,000. So what that means is, hypothetically, if God forbid something happened to this person, they deferred till age 70, and then they they got hit by a bus or they died at age 72, they would have been better off taking it earlier, because there's no way in 2 years they could have recouped that $130,000. So that's why I want to look at longevity and figure out how long does it take you to recoup what you otherwise could have had if you elected at age 62 or 63, 64, 65, any year prior to age 70 or prior to full retirement age. How long does it take for you to recoup that benefit, and what is your break even? When we run the Social Security analysis, for most individuals deferring to age 70, if they have other income sources, and they can do so, that break even is going to be your early 80s, usually between 82 to 85 or something like that. So every case is unique, and then depending upon if you're married, the gap in your spouse's age can affect that as well. But again, when I mentioned that bird in the hand versus two in the bush, that's a situation where you may want to review, where yes, deferring to age 70 is going to get you more money, but you may have more concerns about having more money now earlier in retirement when you're actually spending it, versus later years where you may not be spending it as much. So again, that's another conversation to have. Now, as far as that longevity we talked about, we like to run that Social Security analysis to age 95 unless you tell us otherwise. But ultimately speaking, even if you don't think longevity is on your side, about 1 in 3 retirees are actually living to age 90, and 1 in 7 are making it to age 95. So again, longevity is becoming an issue across the board, especially with all the medical advancements and the way we take care of ourselves now compared to before. Now, at the end of the day, one of the questions is, when do I start taking that benefit, and how will it affect my benefit if I'm still working? So a lot of times, you may want to go ahead and dip in and start taking Social Security because you want to boost up your income, but you may lose some of that Social Security if you do it too early. If you wait till full retirement age and you turn it on, doesn't matter if you're still working, making $100,000, making $1 million, doesn't matter. You're still going to get your full retirement age benefits. However, if you decide to elect Social Security early, then you're going to get reduced benefits. So if you've elected it early, and it's at least a year or more before your full retirement age, they're going to actually you're going to lose $1 for every $2 once your earnings exceed about $18,000. The year that you actually are going to claim, it's a little bit less. It's going to be $1 for every $3 if your earnings are over $48,000 or so. So again, if let's say if you're 64 and you decide to turn it on, you're not going to get that full benefit if you're still working. So again, that goes into that calculation, that tool that we run for you if you want to look at that Social Security analysis. But generally speaking, if you're making income and you can afford your lifestyle, you probably want to defer at least till full retirement age, and then we can have a discussion of whether or not it makes sense to defer even farther into age 70 or so. So a lot of people are going to have to ask themselves, where's my money coming from? Obviously, we're talking here about Social Security, so that's one form of income. Others may have continue working or have a part-time job. You may have your savings and your investments. A lot of the companies we work with have a 401k saved up. You also have your pension benefits, possibly, whether you're getting a monthly annuity or whether you've rolled that over to your 401k or rolled it over to an IRA. So there's a lot of different potential income sources to be aware of, and the timing associated with those and how they can affect Social Security and when's the best time to take one over the other. So that's where that cash flow analysis combined with that Social Security analysis come into play to let you determine the best choices, because a lot of times making appropriate changes on your Social Security could definitely gross you tens of thousands of dollars more over the long term in retirement. Now, as far as the taxation and how much will you get taxed on Social Security, again, it's going to depend upon your actual earned income. But if your Social Security is really your only source of income, then chances are you're not going to pay any taxes on it whatsoever. As an individual, if you're making under $25,000, it's tax-free. If a couple's making under $32,000, it's tax-free. Now, if you're individual and you're actually making a little bit more, it's between $25,000 and $34,000, or a couple a little bit more, $32,000 to $44,000, then you're only going to be taxed up to 50% of the Social Security benefit in that range. Now, if you go up even higher and you're making over $34,000 as a single individual, or making over $44,000 as a married couple, then 85% of that Social Security is going to be taxed. So this actually comes into play a lot of times too with managing taxes for our clients. In some cases where we may do ebbs and flows of different years of taking distributions from their accounts, so they can manage the taxation of Social Security as well. And a lot of that comes into play when we talk about Roth conversions as well. But that's a deeper conversation to have once you give us a call. Now, as far as looking at an example and looking at a married couple in this case, let's kind of zoom in here because there's a lot of information on this chart. I apologize. Let me get that a little bit better. Okay, so on this example, let's take a look at a couple, spouse 1 and spouse 2, and let's assume that they were going to take their benefit at age 62. The combined benefit for these two is going to be $2,784 per month. So we can see the spouse 1 must have been the higher income earner. Versus if they were to wait till full retirement age at 66 in this case, it's going to be $3,800. And if they deferred all the way till age 70, it's going to be about $5,200. So that monthly joint income from age 70 versus age 62 is $2,457 more if both spouses were to wait and claim at age 70 instead of 62. Now, another thing to keep in mind is the spousal benefit. If we look at that one at age 70, spouse 1 has got $3,154 of Social Security, and spouse 2 has a little bit over $2,000. Let's assume, hypothetically, if spouse 1 were to die, then spouse 2 steps up into that $3,100, so they get a better long-term benefit as well. So even when we have a spousal gap for clients, a lot of times deferring to 70 may make sense, because if there's a big gap in age, and the assumption is that that older person may go sooner, then that allows their spouse to step into their benefit and actually get that paid out over a longer term period as well. So again, it's just a quick example to show you some of the different things we look at, but that Social Security analysis we mentioned is going to go into greater detail and look at your specific situation using your Social Security estimates and then your age and longevity as well. Now, a lot of the questions to ask as far as, do I take it earlier, do I take it later? Again, there's no one-size-fits-all solution, but some of the reasons you might want to take it earlier is obviously if you need the money, if you need Social Security, if that's one of your only source of income, that's a reason to take it earlier. Maybe you want to invest those benefits. Maybe you've got enough money to cover what you need, and in that example we gave earlier where you're building up $130,000, maybe you'd rather take that Social Security now and try and invest it and grow it at a greater rate as well. And that's factored into that break-even analysis we run too. Maybe you want to delay taking funds from your 401k or other investment choices. So you want to take Social Security now, let those others defer. However, we would have a deeper conversation about that, especially given Roth conversion options and things from a lot of the 401ks we work with. And then maybe you want your spouse wants to delay their benefits, so maybe you take yours first, let them delay theirs, depending upon who's the higher income earner. So again, we go through all this in that analysis as well. So some of the reasons to actually wait and defer that out is obviously you want a higher monthly income benefit for yourself and then your spouse if you're married. And you want to maximize that survivor income that I just mentioned, and then maybe you want to be able to file for spousal benefits and switch later. And then obviously, if you have the income or have the assets to cover yourself until then, that's going to be the benefit of actually deferring until age 70. Because assuming you make it past 85 at least, then hands down, pretty much every calculation you run, deferring to age 70 is going to generate more income for you over the lifetime of your lifetime. However, the question is again, where do you place value on that income? Do you place a higher value of it earlier in life or later in life? And do you have any concerns about Social Security changing, going away, or having a means testing approach where they reduce some of it? So these are some things that we can also cover one-on-one, but as they come out and as we know exactly what's going to happen, we can let you know that as well. Now, at the end of the day, the best way to actually run that cash flow analysis and the Social Security analysis is to actually get your data. We can run an estimate for you based upon your date of birth and your income. But if you want to be more specific, if you go to socialsecurity.gov, you can log in, get your actual statement that they send out to you each year. And when it comes time to applying, you can also go online or call them by phone to go through that process. And if you are near that point, give us a call. We can walk you through it as well and make sure you don't make any mistakes on that claiming strategy as well. At the end of the day, there's a Social Security analysis we talked about, but there's also that cash flow analysis I mentioned at the beginning. It's good to look at those in conjunction. But about 3/4 of Americans over 50 don't actually have a written plan as far as what the retirement picture looks like. If you can spend about maybe 5 to 10 minutes with us gathering a little bit of data, we can run that analysis for you, have it back to you in about a week or two, and that will at least show you where you stand now and can help you determine the best day to retire and the best claiming strategy when it comes to Social Security as well. So it's very important to run this to know before you make any decisions. And then if you have any questions on this specifically, obviously at the end of the day, we'd love to make you a client. We'd love to work with you. But if you just want to run that cash flow analysis to see where you stand now, or you want to look at Social Security deeper, but again, depending upon your company, we can also go into details on your 401k and your pension as well, since we do a lot of work with the companies. But give us a call at 1-800-900-5867, or you can reach us at info@theretirementgroup.com. And we got a couple QR codes up here. If you know how to do that with your phone, just hold it up. There's one to schedule an appointment with myself or any of the other advisors. Or you can also follow us on LinkedIn if you'd like to be updated on the next webinars or any company issues happening at your company and changes to the plans or things like that. So I want to thank everybody, and then with that, I just want to open it up to see if we had any questions come through. And it looks like we only had one question come through so far, so I'll address that. But again, keep in mind if you'd like to put a question there, it is anonymous. And the first question we have here is how does my 401k distribution affect my the taxes on my Social Security? So that goes back to that slide I showed before as far as the different taxation at 0%, 50%, and 85%. So if you're actually even if you're not working, but you take out a distribution, let's say that you take out $20,000 from your 401k, and then you also make let's say $20,000 in Social Security, that's going to get you that $40,000 mark. So that's where you look at the question of whether, depending upon single or married, what your total income is going to be to determine whether or not you're at the 50% tax for Social Security or 85% tax. A lot of times, again, when you look at those, if it's over $44,000 for a married couple or over $34,000, most of the people we're working with are looking at that 85% level of Social Security as far as taxation. But again, I mentioned there are ways to maybe you take out a larger distribution in 1 year to cover you for the next 2 years, and don't take a distribution the next year, and that way you reduce your Social Security taxes. So there's a lot of different tax strategies to look at, but again, that depends truly about what your income need is and your specific situation. But we can go through there, and again, focus on trying to figure out the best way to save taxes year by year, and then also look at the long-term picture for you as well. So with that, I want to again wrap that up. If you have any questions, you can give us a call at 1-800-900-5867. I want to thank everybody for taking time out of their day to join me with this webinar. But again, any questions, reach out to us. I hope everybody has a great day, and I hope you stay safe.